Official basketball practice for this year, and I couldn't be more excited as a coach. Going into year 3, I'm excited for a lot of reasons. Obviously, with the success that we had last year, but I'll be honest with you. I'm really excited about the players. When you talk about their freshman class, I look forward to seeing how much C.J. Bryce and Devontae Keatts has developed, and then you talk about the 2 guys who had an incredible year in Denzel Ingram and Chris Fleming. I want to obviously see can they play at that same level.
How is the feeling different this year when you talk about last year, you're trying to do it, this year you're trying to do it again?
Well, I think our approach is the same. Obviously our guys know coming in that, we got to work in order to have a great team and to be able to play the style that we want to play. So I think we're all excited about the opportunity, and I think we'll approach it the same way we have in the last 2 years.
Year 3, this roster's kind of taking shape. Talk about the style of play that you want to play, how maybe it's transformed and changed this year.
Well, we have more depth. When you talk about our first year, obviously we could only play 8 guys, and then last year, we had our ups and downs. We started off in the preseason where we played a lot more guys, and then towards the end, as an old coach used to tell me, the cream would always rise to the top, and I felt like some guys stood out and played, and we had to keep them on the floor. But I'm excited about this bunch because I think we got a mixture of young and old. When you talk about the 2 freshmen and then the 5th-year transfer, and then obviously the guys who are returning. So I like what we have on this roster.
You look at that roster, a lot of guards. The post play. What should people expect for rebounding size? Is this going to be a different style in that sense?
Well, I don't think so. If you look at the second half of the year last year, and even in my first season, we ended up playing 4 guards, and we may end up with that, towards the end of this year. But I don't worry about rebounding because I think we got big enough wings that can rebound the basketball to have our post guys inside.
How is the health right now? Will everybody be practicing today?
Well, our health is a little bit. It's funny you ask that because we got some older guys that everybody will practice, but we got some guys that are banged up. And when I say that is Chris Fleming's battling a little thigh bruise, and Denzel Ingram has what we consider turf toe, and then Ambrose Mosley obviously has got a hamstring that's bothering him a little bit. But they all will compete and they all will practice. But if you hear the theme of it, it's all my older guys.
And Coach, kind of going off what John had asked, because I was near last year. So, looking at a lot of these returns, what is the style of play that you're implementing now here in year 3, and you're looking to get going here with first practice?
Well, we're up tempo. As you know, we have what we consider a 3-second fast break. We try to get the ball out as quick as we can, and we try to score in transition. If we don't, we try to get into some type of early offense. But I think what's been special for us is on the defensive end. We've been able to make people play fast, which is our tempo, and obviously turning guys over and getting turnovers and quick steals. But, it's an exciting brand of basketball. I think our fans are starting to love it. When you look at ticket sales, they're starting to rise because of the way we play, and I think this year will be really fun for the fans.
When you talk about, what the first day of practice used to be, you don't have a lot of access to them. You've obviously had some good access to them in the last couple months. How does today change? Besides being with them a little bit longer, is there a distinct change in what an official practice is for the guys?
Well, it won't change, but this is going into this practice. I've had my hands on them the least amount in my last couple of years. That first year, because we were trying to put the program in, we did so much more in the summer leading up to it. And obviously last year, because we had the Bahamas trip, we were able to get those 10 practices out of the way. I felt like we had a veteran group and mixing some young guys in that, we haven't won as much as we did in the past. So it'll be interesting to see how these guys pick up things.
Yeah, what is that balance when you talk about some of these guys have been with you for 3 years, and then you have some other guys who don't know, what you're looking for? How do you sort of strike that balance of getting everybody where they need to be?
Well, when you got a program and you've got some returners and some upperclassmen, you hope they become teachers and you hope they become coaches on the floor. So some of the mistakes that our young guys will make, hopefully that, obviously our veteran guys will pull them in and kind of show them how to do things the right way. When you're building a program, you want, older guys in the program that's been there for a couple of years and won some stuff. And, you think about Jordan Talley, he's been through both championships, and then adding Chris Fleming and Denzel Ingram and Marquis Bryant to the mix, and then the freshmen from last year who were able to make that great run and win 25 games. So we've got some guys with some experience that we didn't have when I first took the job.
Coach, you mentioned kind of the fans and the ticket sales. Just from like your tip-off dinner and from being around campus, have you noticed kind of the excitement level start to rise coming into this year?
Absolutely. Speaking on the tip-off dinner, I thought it was one of the best things we did. The excitement was there. I thought Seth Greenberg did a great job with his keynote speech that he gave. But I think more importantly, for this being the first one, I thought people turned out, and it was a great event and had a good time. And when you walk around campus, you could feel the buzz and the excitement of everybody knowing that we're going to start another year of basketball. And I think it's exciting for our guys.
Coach, what are some of the things that you look like from a coaching staff standpoint during the off season that things that you can work on as a head coach and along with your staff moving into the year?
Well, that's a great question. One of the things that we want to become is we want to become a better defensive rebounding team. Obviously, I thought we did a great job offensive rebounding the basketball, but I even want to run more. I know that sounds crazy, but if we can rebound the basketball, I'd like to get the ball out the net a little bit more and run a little bit more than we've done in the past. Also, obviously, as you guys know, because of our style of play, when you look at it, and I went back and watched a lot of film this summer, obviously I want to foul a little bit less. And as crazy as it sounds, because we're a pressing team, we didn't really foul 94 feet away from the basket. I didn't think we did a great job playing great half-court team defense.
Especially with these newcomers, I know that you've had them for a couple of months, but now is when you start to put the hard hat on and get to work. What do you look for from some of these guys to really push them to significant playing time as the season gets underway?
Well, first of all, they have no clue about what they're going to get themselves into because obviously we get 2 hours a week, but we really up until this past Sunday we'd only went 2 hours one time, and it's typically been 40 minutes and 40 minutes and 40 minutes. So it'll be interesting to see how they feel after having a 2 hour plus practice and everything else. But, I expect the freshmen to be able to come along, and it's going to take a little time. Obviously, you're going to have to live with their mistakes. But, in the last 2 years, we've had two freshmen, when you talk about Jordan Talley and C.J. Bryce and even Devontae Keatts, who play a very important role in obviously our success. So we're hoping to get the same thing out of Jalen Fornes and Matt Elmore.
When you kind of touched on it that you use that non-conference